what we're going to look at is the difference between simplifying and evaluate. In essence, it boils down to this. When you simplify, you can leave your answer at some power. Let's look at a really tricky one to simplify. One over p squared times p to the power of 3 all over p to the power of minus 4 divided by 1 over p to the power of 3. Well, what we don't like, first and foremost, we don't like p's and 1 over p's. So we change everything so that it's some power of p. So the ones we're going to change are this and this. And as we were discussing earlier, 1 over p squared can be written as p to the minus 2. So I'm going to rewrite the question, but it's just got p's to some power. And 1 over p we write as p to the minus 1. Remember, if there's no power there, there's the hidden power of 1. So that's making the question so that it's got the same base, okay? And then, as we were discussing earlier, when you multiply, you add the powers. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to demonstrate that I know what to do with the powers. So that's minus 2, add this power here, 3. And I'm going to do probably a couple of calculations here. One go. This one here, it's going to be p to the minus 4. That's that power there. When you divide, you subtract. I haven't worked out this power yet. But minus 1, remember you've got a bracket raised to a power. You multiply them. So I'm going to take away minus 3. Minus 1 times 3, that's where I got that minus 3 here. Right, now, I can do the top. Minus 2 add 3 is 1. And minus 4 take away minus 3. That's the same as minus 4 add 3. And that's p to the power of minus 1. So, now my final bit of work is what is, just as p, what power is that? Well, we're dividing. As we saw, we're dividing, you take away, so it's going to be p to the 1 minus this power here, minus 1. In other words, it's p to the power of 2. Okay? As long as you're methodical and careful, you should get these. Now, let's look at the harder ones, which are evaluate. Evaluate means, well, as you'll see, evaluate means you want a single answer. No powers, you just want a number. It might be a fraction. Here you go. 2 to the power of minus 2 times 7 to the power of minus 1. Well, we want a single number. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take into account the minus sign. 2 to the power of minus 2 is 1 over 2 squared. 7 to the minus 1 is 1 over 7. So I just work out what 2 squared is. It's 4. 1 over 4 times 1 over 7. You multiply the numerators and you multiply the denominators. So there you go. There's the answer. And you see the difference? It's not to some power. It is just your single answer, okay? Go through that once more. Questions at the end, please. Example 3. Here you go. So copy this down. My leg's feeling a lot better now, so I will be hobbling about in a minute. And if I haven't seen all of this written down, unless there's a good excuse, we'll have to have a little chat. Well, the best bet is always, when you've got 1 over, is to rewrite it as the whole number to the minus 1. So I'm going to rewrite that as 3 to the minus 1. So at the moment, I'm doing exactly the same as if I was simplifying it. And 1 over 2 is 2 to the minus 1. Ah, this one turns out interesting. Now, remember, when you've got a bracket raised to a power, you multiply them. Minus 1 times minus 2 is plus 2. Minus 1 times minus 1 is plus 1. 3 squared is 9. 2 to the power of 1 is 2. And there's the answer. 18. And as I said, that's the difference between evaluate and simplify. You get it as a single answer.